Welcome. Thanks for dropping in to Building Barrels, where we explore the technology, planning, and development of adventure centers using man-made waves to spread the stoke of surfing. My name is Michael, and I'd like you to join me in learning everything we can about surf park development. Together, we can build barrels in all of our hometowns. One thing that surf park developers need to realize, or anybody who wants to bring a surf park into their area, or somebody who wants to start a surf park, they all need to realize that they are in real estate development. You're not just opening a surf park. You're taking a piece of land and developing it into the vision of a surf park. So today we are going to explore what exactly is real estate development. Real estate development is any person or entity, company who sees a piece of land and wants to put something on it, whether it's an unused parking lot, a farm, or a piece of land that already has a building there. If you have a vision that that piece of land should be something else, something better, a better use of that land, and you actually want to change it into something new, if you take the steps moving forward to change it, you're a developer. Real estate development always starts with a piece of land. You can't develop anything without the land. And it doesn't matter what's there already. You can change it into your own vision. Now, that could be a residential community, a neighborhood, a subdivision. It might be a multifamily housing, an apartment complex. It might be a retail center, or an office building, or an industrial park. There are also special uses such as a recreation center, a hospital, a senior center. There are quite a few different special use cases that you might want to see in your area, or you might envision for that piece of land. Now we're going to go into all these in a little bit of detail, but I just wanted to emphasize that everywhere you look, if there is a vertical structure on it, meaning a house, building, light poles for a parking lot, if there's a vertical structure on it, there has been a developer involved in it in some form or fashion. Even with the farms, at some point that land got divided up. Some developer came and said, this is yours, and subdivided that land. And so anywhere you go, there has been a real estate developer involved in some capacity. Now, getting into the different types of real estate development, you might see a piece of farmland and you really want to bring a new neighborhood into the area. That's considered residential. Or maybe there's a nice piece of acreage in the middle of a city and you want to do some infill housing or some affordable housing. Then you might want to develop your land into multifamily housing or a single family home neighborhood or subdivision. It might have an amenity center. It might not. It might have an HOA, a homeowners association. Typically in a neighborhood, a subdivision like that, you're going to split the land up into different lots. And you're going to sell those lots to builders or homeowners who are going to build, or investors, or maybe you make a plan for a neighborhood and then just sell it to a national home builder who comes in and puts houses on all of them. There's also the option of developing your land into multifamily housing, where you've got condominiums or apartments. Condominiums, which are different than apartments in that condominiums are owned by individuals, whereas an apartment complex, the whole thing is owned by one person or company, and they are used as rentals. You might build a high rise. You could also build hotels or motels on your land, and that's considered residential. You could build a resort area. You might mix it up. You might have some condos here, homes here, little villas over here, townhomes. There's a lot of different ways that you can develop a piece of land for the residential side of it. Now, I think a surf park mixed with a residential area or neighborhood would be an interesting little mix, having an amenity center anchored by a surf pool or a surf park. That's a very intriguing concept. And there was some recent speculation that with the trend towards people not golfing as much and golf courses being shut down and going bankrupt, that there might make a move for those amenities to be converted to something like a surf park. I do think that the Kelly Slater Wave Company trying to put together some kind of residential surf park neighborhood concept. I haven't seen anything confirming it. And I'm not sure if that was going to be a resort kind of idea, but that is something to certainly consider, and I think that that's really intriguing. If you wanted to go in the direction of retail, you saw a need in the area for more shops, or you have found a nice prime piece of land that would be a great shopping center or a mall. Maybe your area has a need for a big box store, or maybe you just want a smaller, more local retail center. Maybe you've got a need for a restaurant or a fast food franchise in the area, and you've got a high traffic little corner that you'd like to develop and see it be your favorite restaurant. Or maybe you need a gas station or auto shops. Those are always in high demand. Or maybe if you have a piece of land that would be a great banking center. All of those are types of retail. You also have office. That is another option for real estate development. You can create not just an office building, a high-rise office building, low-rise office building. You can also develop an entire business park, take a huge piece of land with multiple buildings, have a business center. Your building could be single tenant, which means there's one company that rents the whole building, or it could be multi-tenant, where every floor has a different tenant, or you can structure it many different ways. And there's actually different classes for real estate development. You've got A, B, C, and D, just depending on how nice of a space it is. And so that's something to also consider when you're developing real estate. What kind of class you want that to be. You also have industrial. If you're in an area, big city or near an airport, or anywhere that's a kind of a shipping hub, or maybe you've got a lot of business in the area. Industrial is another great way to develop a piece of land. There could be businesses in the area that need factories or distribution, warehousing, or manufacturing facility. Your industrial land could be used for research and development, for a company to develop new products. Or it could be self-storage, or it could be a flex space, a space that could do any and or all of the above. Now, so far we've covered residential, retail, office, and industrial. Before we get into special uses, there's another type of development that you may want to consider. Mixed use. It takes different elements of each of those and combines them in whatever combination you might see for that piece of land. You might have a residential area, a multifamily development in mind that has a retail center as well. You might have a live-work kind of space where you have shops on the first floor and the owner of that shop lives upstairs. You can have office space in residential. You can have office space retail. Maybe you want to go office industrial. There's a lot of different ways that you can develop a piece of land in the mixed use concept. It's all up to you and your vision. Now, the idea that I was angling towards is the mixed use neighborhood or mixed use development anchored by a surf park. Groundswell isn't up off the ground yet, but you can see this mixed use concept more actualized at the Wave Virginia Beach, which has already broken ground, and it looks like it's going to be an awesome project. So that is one way to develop your surf park where you can point to someone that's actually doing it. I don't really see a good combination between office and a surf pool. However, an office center can certainly be incorporated into a larger mixed use retail residential type of neighborhood. And I really don't think that you can mix a surf pool with industrial. That sounds pretty crazy. Finally, there's special uses where maybe you want to develop the land and build a church or a medical center, a hospital, or you want to build a school. Maybe you have a need for a school in the area. Farm and ranch, that could be considered special uses. Recreation centers, surf parks, golf courses, senior housing, long-term care, or even jails. That's considered a special use. So those are kind of categorized in the other field. None of them are industrial, retail, or residential or office. And so that's why it's considered special use. Some of the more interesting ideas might be with the special uses. What if there was a church with a surf pool? A recreation center and a surf park would be perfect. That's a great combination of getting a YMCA and a surf park together. I think that'd be a pretty good concept. Or what about a medical center with a surf pool? I mean, why not? There's been trends towards surfers healing, surf therapy. So that's intriguing as well. And why not have a college with a surf pool, grooming some people to get into the Olympics, an Olympic training center. So there's a lot of different special use ideas out there. Now, all of these different ways of developing is all dependent upon your zoning. Zoning is a whole another piece to unravel, which we're not going to get into. But like I said, this is just kind of going over all the different ways that you can develop a piece of land. Hopefully, this gives you some ideas as to what you could do with your surf park in addition to just having surfing. For me, I'm kind of angling towards that mixed use, anchored by a surf park. Whether or not I actually develop in that direction has yet to be seen, but that's kind of the vision that I have for my surf park. But I'd like to hear what kind of ideas that you have for your surf park. So give me a comment on this, and hopefully you found the information interesting and beneficial and you've gotten some ideas. Please follow me, give me a like, give me a share, and together we can build barrels all over the world. Thanks, and I'm kicking out. See ya.